Welcome to Alchemy Avenue, where we transform in real time, trust the vibe, and grow on purpose. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a reminder that you don't need fixing, just unlocking. Around here, we laugh, we build, we heal, and we elevate, all powered by that deep inner knowing that says, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. You were made for this version of you, so let's expand, let's enjoy it, and let's keep becoming who we already are. Tap in. This is Alchemy Avenue. All right, welcome to another episode of Alchemy Avenue. Thanks for returning, and let's get into a great episode today. Today, we're going to get into pouring back into you, the power of alone time, reflection, and renewal. So we kind of dove into this, sentiment, a few different times, but let's come from it from this vantage point. How often do you feel the nudge to be alone? How often do you experience, a touch or something that's saying, go this way, or do this, and just give you more time to yourself and give you more time to kind of reflect on things? Do you hear it in a whisper, see it in a sign, or do you feel it rise in your body at the end of a long day? Do you listen to it or do you ignore it? In this episode, we're going to ask, what does it mean to honor the call to be with yourself, not just for rest, because that's important as well, but as recalibration? Why we avoid the nudges, why we avoid those silent, feelings of, hey, why don't you step away for a moment to yourself? It's the stigma. It is the stigma in many cultures. Taking a break is frowned upon, especially like with men. Whenever, you're supposed to always be creating, you're supposed to be a provider, you're always supposed to be doing something, sitting around in the house, or, just taking time to yourself, sitting outside on the porch, backyard, however you want to do it. Some people can say, well, you ain't doing nothing right now, even though you may have stuff to do. Like, you literally may have things you need to do. But again, you can't do it all in a day. And even if you wanted to do it, if you don't have a mind to say, I'm gonna go ahead and get it done, it's gonna feel taxing. It's gonna feel draining anyway. And then sometimes, you may still need to power yourself to get through certain situations. But when is that time that you create and have for yourself? Women too have that same kind of stigma about, their mothers, their caretakers, and their, wives. So they have to always be doing something. Someone is always needing something. So what that kind of stigma kind of puts you in a box where you feel weird or you don't feel right for taking time to yourself. So let's actually kind of break through those stigmas and kind of open things up to where we understand how important alone time is. It's important to be spontaneous. It's important to always check in with yourself. So the guilt, people feel guilty for stepping away, fearing what others may say if they're not always available. Again, we get into a space where we are so available for everybody else that we forget to show up for ourselves, especially when we need it, when we haven't did it in a while, and now something is telling us, oh, you needed some time to yourself. You need some time to yourself. So the programming, we've been taught to see value in a constant state of doing. That we've seen, I got to grind. I always got to be available. Not in conscious pausing. Just pause. I know it gets crazy to even think about that. But again, your body needs it. Your spirit and your mind needs that kind of pause. So let's reframe this. Alone time is an escape. Not trying to escape. It is sacred maintenance. And even if you are using it as, and I wouldn't say it as an escape, because you're not necessarily, I would say to not use it as I'm trying to get away. Use it as, because if you do that, then it's almost like a reward. but the reward should just be that it's a sacred maintenance. Like, this is just part of my self-care. This is part of what I do. So let's see it more as not like a reward, but as something that is necessary and required for me to still be able to show up in people's lives the way that you've been showing up. So if we get to that point where we can take time to ourselves and figure that out in a very, sacred way, the gifts in the solitude, so expansion, so space allows clarity and insight to surface. You may be able to figure things out that you kind of been mulling over, and okay, boom, the solution comes to you. Being able to expand in different areas of your life, ideal wise. You may be creative, or some things come to you like, oh wow, okay, boom. Okay, let me do this like this. Or I thought to do it this way. But now that I'm able to kind of map it all out or see it, the bigger picture, now let me do it this way. Shadow work, old wounds emerge in safety, not chaos. And that's the best part about when you are alone. So being in a space where you can really cultivate and excavate those different issues that dealing with, trying to do the work and trying to be the best version of yourself in silence, and just being by yourself, you're able to really filter out, okay, why this, not necessarily why it happened, but this happened. Let me unpack it for myself at that time, and then let me be in a space where I can unfold it the way I need to better move forward in whatever way that needs to be, because everybody is going to process things, and everybody's triumph over whatever shadow work they done is different. And I say triumph because that's literally what it is. You're winning. You are winning. Reflection. You learn what you need versus what others expect. That's a big thing too, because we are always, a lot of times, or at least especially with, being programmed, and people's expectations always supersede what we need for ourselves. So we think, let me do this, I'll get to that in a minute, I'll get to that at some point. No, what you do and how you show up for yourself is very important. And then you're able to organize and prioritize, okay, how do I need to show up as a mother? How do I need to show up as a wife? How do I need to show up as a husband? How I need to show up as a father? How I need to show up as a son, an uncle? However, different things that you do. Now I get to be able to prioritize and more show up in a more holistic way, in a more balanced and harmonized way than just I'm here, this me, and go from it like that. To me, doing it from a balanced, harmonized way just helps, one, you better see clearly on how you going to show up in whatever role you're going to show up in, because we all got different roles. But then also too, how to be able to understand why I need to show up in those roles, and the reason behind it. You know what I mean? So that definitely is a big one as far as the reflection. Nourishment. Not even just like your physical, reset of your body, but really your nervous system resets and recharges. People underestimate the fight or flight that you are with anxiety and different things that may come up. A lot of people ain't gonna call it that, but that's cool. But whatever that nervous feeling or whatever that feeling is when you have, this task, and this task all kind of coming at you at the same time. But then you're not in a space where you can, okay, what do I do first? Or how do I do this and do that and pick the kids up and do homework, what I'm saying? Or, send these emails out. So a lot of times, we're thinking, especially as men, we're thinking, okay, I'm trying to think about A, B, and C, and I possibly have to think all the way to Z. If this happened, then this don't happen. What do I need to do to better show up and be available? Because we're planners. A lot of us are planners, and we always want to have a solution already there, because we don't want to hear people's mouth. We don't want to hear anything. However, all that constantly, it just drives your nervous system crazy, because you were in a state of just go, figure out. And so you got that, but then you also, it's gonna take this may take some people a while to get to this point, but then also too, once you are so solution minded and then you present these solutions and people don't want to take the solutions that you provided, then you get stressed out about that, because then you're like, oh my God, they're going to complain about this situation. I gave a solution, they didn't want to take it, now I'm looking crazy and I still got to try to fix it. Again, once you start to divorce yourself or get yourself out of that mindset where once you given what you gave, okay, that's it. That's it. I've given what I could give. I've given what I need to give in this situation, and you have to get to a point where you are cool with that, because you're going to end up stressing yourself out. So that nervous system reset and recharge is very, very, very important. Very important. Trust. The more time you spend alone, the more you begin to trust yourself, your voice, your instincts, your timing. To me, that's the biggest one, because now when you get downloads and different ideas and, oh, I can do this way, especially on the fly, and you feel like you're just getting everything knocked out, that's trust. Because you know, okay, this is the best solution. I'm coming up with it. Boom, I'm flowing. But you won't get there unless you give yourself opportunity to relax, recharge, and be in a space where you are not you're not making decisions and doing things out of lack. You're doing things from a full battery of charge. So the cost of ignoring the nudge, ignoring the call, leads to burnout, resentment, and fatigue. Man, I'm telling you, because again, like we just talked about, nervous system going crazy, resentment, because you're like, man, I do everything for everybody. Ain't nobody thought about me. Again, once you get in a space where you have cultivated time for yourself, granted, it's nice when people do stuff for you, but you start to get to a point that you pour so much into yourself that you are not a person that is so needy. You're not needing all these different things and all these different people to do these other things for you, because you have poured into yourself. Granted, I'm not saying people should not celebrate you. So people should not say thank you. People shouldn't say, I appreciate you. But if you just appreciate yourself enough, time away, being able to be who you need to be for yourself, then I'm telling you, you'll just better move more easier. Not saying it's going to be easy, but it's easier to move through different situations with that kind of mindset. I'm telling you, even when your spirit, God, source, universe, whoever you pray to, whatever kind of religious, thing that you pull from, that pulls you to your solitude. You override it with duty or constant availability. Let's read that again. Even when your spirit pulls you towards solitude. So even when you get that call and okay, I need to spend some time to myself, you override it. That's a perfect word for it. You override it with duty or constant availability. I got to go do this. But you don't have to necessarily do it at that moment. It's just so easy. You've been on the go and you've been moving so much that it's easier to just not take the time to yourself, to just always be available too. And also one thing that adds to that, being like scrolling, this does not help with any kind of anxiety or anything like that. I'm telling you, I know, because I try to put my phone down, especially when I know I want time to myself. I put my phone down because it's just a very interesting habit that you can just pick it up and just start scrolling. So this creates a tug of war between your conditioned self and your true self. Your conditioned self, because now you're conditioned to always be on the go, always move. But then your true self knows that, okay, I need this break. I need this time. I need this 10 minutes to myself. I need this 20 minutes to just sit in the car. I need whatever the time is to be able to have this to myself, to better just understand. That's why I know, at least for me, when I get off work, I don't like to be on the phone. When I first get off work, I need like 30 minutes or a good, so if I say, hey, what we doing? I figure that out. Then I like to be off the phone. I either listen to some music, or a lot of times I don't play anything. I don't play nothing, because I just want to just kind of decompress from the day and just get, whatever that I don't need to take home from work or whatever it was. I just need to go ahead and push that over, or just kind of ground it, really ground it. So I may sit in the car for a moment, or I may sit outside of the car and just stand out there for a moment, just sit, just stand, look at the clouds, just take in whatever scenery, wherever I'm at, just so my mind can kind of just unravel with everything that has happened for the day. So that's one thing I like to do, just not be on the phone as soon as I get off work. Once I figure out what we're doing, where I need to go, I'll be there. Just give me time. You'll definitely see me. So that's what it means when it creates a tug of war between your conditioned self and your true self, because your true self knows, okay, they need this time. And again, we just put things in place instead of taking that time. Every time you deny the nudge, you delay your expansion. All of it's about growth. All of it is about growth. So every time we do that, we like, oh, I'm good. Then next thing you know, we delaying. Maybe get some kind of download or some kind of insight that we once thought we, had, but then now we got something different about it, and it just helps us. So if you don't pour into yourself, you're not pouring, you're leaking. Just always keep that in mind. If we do not pour into ourselves, we're not pouring, we're leaking. So let's just walk into some different practical tools, and how do we cultivate a long time? How do we do it? Just gave that one example about, off work, take, 30 minutes or so, and some other things that I like to do, and, just kind of just talk to some other people about it. I take the long way home sometimes. I don't take my normal route. I'll go, around, especially if there's nothing going on. Everybody's at the house, or everybody's at whatever they're doing, then I'll take the long way home. I'll park and sit in the grass for about 5 minutes, just like I said, just sit and chill, stare at the clouds, just kind of get my mind off everything. Early morning or late night meditation, those are perfect, especially when everybody has went to sleep. If you're a person that doesn't have to be in the bed early, when everybody's already down for bed, that's the best time right there. Meditate. Even early in the mornings, you can do that as well, while everybody is still asleep. You can do so. If you got a favorite coffee shop, we got a tea shop here in town that I love. Shout out Oasis at the Mill. I'll go there, just chill. Coffee shop, wherever it is. You got a bookstore. Go to the library. Whatever you like to do, you can use that also too as your time away, time to yourself. So drives. I remember back in the day, we would be notorious for just driving, just get in the car and we gone. Go to Greensboro for no reason. We just driving. Greensboro's like 20 minutes, depending on where you're going, 20, 30 minutes from where we're at. So you drive, just go for a long drive, throw some music on, or, throw some healing tones or whatever, a nice podcast or whatever, Alchemy Avenue, throw that on. And then next thing you kind of just get your mind, get in a space of creation, and just a lot of different things can happen once you get time away. You kind of just reset yourself to be able to just be, because you got all this information from just the day or just whatever has been going on. Now you get to expand, because now you get to really kind of process and put everything in whatever order that you need to put it in for yourself. So even, some people may do solo trips. You can do, solo trips if you can make that happen. And that solo trip, it don't have to be like beach, mountains. A solo trip could be, hey, I need to, go away for the night. I need, because even for my wife's, it's Mother's Day. We had this place in Greensboro called the Grandover. really nice property. It has like a golf course, spa, and all this other stuff. Got my wife a room there for Mother's Day so she can chill, relax. They got, a bar. They got a really nice restaurant. And I said they got the spa there. So she was able to just do whatever she wanted to do. No kids. She can just do her thing, and just chill. Stuff like that is really, really, really dope. So she thoroughly enjoyed that. So self-reminders. So I like this. So create like little messages for yourself in this process as well. So create pop-up messages that say like, remember you were the architect. Remember you're the best part of the day. I like that one. So change them as you go, but create different messages that pop up. Like we do reminders on our phone. Create yourself a reminder to remind you of yourself. Hey, take a minute, you're doing great. You were handling everything with precision. Say those things to yourself because you're not making it up. You literally are handling everything with precision. We just want to get to a space where it's not grueling. It's amazing that I get to do what I get to do. We want to get our mindset in that regard. So reframing alone time as expansion. Alone time isn't about avoiding others. It's not about avoiding others. You want to use this for, again, it's about deepening who you are when you're with others. That's what it is. But again, I was going to kind of stop there because sometimes you like everybody get on my nerves. It's just as short. It is just as direct as that. So it's not about avoiding others. Again, but that may be your initial thought. And you're like, yo, I got to get away. I got to step aside because everybody is getting on my nerves. So you got to do that. But then to understand that that may be the reason, but then you still use the time to deepen who you are. And again, I said it don't have to be a spiritual mountain that you climb every time you go get some long time. It can just be, you just need to recalibrate and reset. Let it be that. Don't turn it into something that I say it still should be sacred, but it can be sacred if you just sitting outside and just drinking some tea, coffee, some, your favorite, spirits, some bourbon, whatever that is. Allow that to still be sacred, no matter what. Every moment of solitude creates new depths and confidence. That trust. It shifts you from surviving interactions to radiating within them. Alone time becomes a way to strengthen your inner channel, so your outer presence feels clearer, calmer, and more magnetic. So I like this part too, because once your inner channel is strengthened, so now your different gifts, technologies is what I call them, your different technologies, you're able to trust them better because now they're not coming from a space of you being tired, your physical body being tired, or your nervous system being overhyped and overstimulated. That right there can affect how you use your technologies and just how they, show up for you. So just always keep that in mind. Yeah. So you're not broken for needing time alone. Don't let anybody convince you of that. Don't let nobody. I don't care who it is. It could be your parents. It could be your siblings, co-workers, managers. It could be somebody you love and trust. And they telling you, oh, you don't need to do that. You should always be, man, at least in my opinion, do not believe that. You need time to yourself. You need time to figure whatever you're trying to figure out without the background noise or the upfront noise that could be going on. So you are brilliant for honoring it. Always remember that. Alone time is not emptiness. Just because you're alone don't mean you're lonely. Always remember that as well. It expands. It is where trust is built, where clarity speaks, and where your true self remembers how to walk with confidence. So the next time you feel the nudge to run in the field, to sit in silence, to breathe without an agenda and listen, that's not avoidance, that's alignment. And when you pour back into yourself, what you offer the world isn't force, it's overflow. Always remember that. You being the best version of you in whatever now moment it is always a gift to your surrounding area and to this grid. So always remember that. Not everyone will understand it. Some may even judge it. But the truth is, the world doesn't need more of your exhaustion. It needs more of your essence. So let this moment land. Alone time isn't selfish, it's sacred. It isn't weakness. It's a grand scale of wisdom to be able to do that. And it's not withdrawal. It's a way back to who you are and who you love, which is yourself. You ultimately love yourself and you should treat yourself accordingly. So I appreciate tuning in today. Again, if you need anything from me, Alchemy Avenue 85921, like, share, and subscribe. So appreciate you. Till next time, Ashe.